right, welcome to the first ever Cloud in My Coffee, a show to bring you inside the world of Engine Yard and the people we affectionately call Yardies. I'm PJ Haggerty. I am the team lead for a crack unit inside of Engine Yard known as the community team. With me today for our first ever episode is our CEO, Beau Vrolyk. Beau, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, PJ. Well, I've been a technical person and an investor for most of my life. I've run companies for the last few years and am a rabid sailor and a grandfather.
Now, do you sail as a grandfather or you're captain at that point? Grandfather separate, CEO separate,
no,
everything's siloed properly?
No. The family sails together a lot. My kids were raised on a sailboat, so they've got a lot of background sailing, and we're bringing up our grandkids to be sailors as well.
It's only the right thing to do.
Haven't taken the company sailing yet, but we'll do that.
I'm going to hold you to that. So let me ask you this. You've been with Engine Yard a little while now, and what is it about the team at Engine Yard that really stands out to you from a CEO's perspective?
Well, I was really very pleasantly surprised to discover that particularly the support team has an attitude which is I've never seen before. It's whatever it takes to make the customer succeed. And I continue to be surprised. I just spent 3 days with the guys at a meetup down in Austin, and it's the same attitude. There's just refuse to lose, do whatever it takes to make the customer successful. And that's just wonderful.
Yeah, having initially come from the support team, I know exactly how you feel. I mean, you spend time with those guys and you feel like there's so much, not just support for our customers, but support internally for anything that needs to get done. These guys are never say die, and that's just the way they live and play, which is fantastic.
And by the way, you missed it. We did karaoke one night, and they got me to sing. Well,
as they like to say on the internet, Pixar, it didn't happen. Beau and I have a history that goes back about karaoke. He owes me two karaoke sessions now, I believe. So, with the idea of kind of Engine Yard and where it came from, Engine Yard's always been a key contributor to open source. What do you think is the key to succeeding as a startup when you base your startup on using open source tools to kind of build it out?
Well, the most prominent thing is that you have to work with and within the open source community. If the community doesn't think something is a good idea, you shouldn't do it. To fork an open source stack is an extraordinarily dangerous thing to do. I've worked in the open source community on and off for many, many years. Dave McAllister, our VP of marketing here, and myself were the two guys who were instrumental in pushing a tremendous amount of software into the open source community while we were at Silicon Graphics. And I learned the lesson over and over again that it's most important when you propose something new, which of course is why you use open source, is to improve the stack. When you push something new out to the community, if they don't accept it, you don't do it. And you have to lead with the open source version first, as opposed to running in what I would consider the old model, where you try to strive for differentiation in the software in ways that allow you to control it. That doesn't work in open source, and it's anathema to the people involved.
Right. And I think you really hit on some key points there, especially the idea that, yes, we're a company who works in a specific direction, and any startup that uses open source is a company working in a specific direction. But without the support of the open source community of what you're building the tools that you're working with, it's hard to kind of stretch that much further forward.
Well, I think the most important thing is that it's perfectly fine to move the ball forward for the entire community. What's not today is to move the ball forward for just yourself and attempt to leave the rest of the community behind, which unfortunately we see a lot of places. You'll never see that here. Yeah,
I agree 100%. So here at Engine Yard, we focus on the cloud. And I have to, so is the cloud the future? Is it poised to see something new in the next 5 to 10 years? Will Engine Yard get into quantum computing when the time is right? What is the future of, looking back, we started on, giant mainframes, and then we moved to servers and server farms and co-location facilities. Now cloud is where it needs to be. What's the next step, and will Engine Yard work to be a part of that?
So for a long time, I've been working on the leading edge of a lot of areas of computing. There was a period of time where Cray Research reported to me that the thing that has always been fascinating to me is that these technologies are actually adopted much more slowly than the industry pundits ever imagined. For example, cloud computing right now is just in its infancy. It's just being adopted by major corporations around the world. And in fact, very few of them are actually utilizing the most important feature of cloud, which is to completely commoditize the computing and move it into separate corporate entities.
Right.
A few have started, but mostly we find on the public cloud, they are people who have grown up in the cloud. They're what we call cloud enterprises. And cloud enterprises are completely integrated into the cloud deeply. They've never run on internal data systems at all. And those companies have a tremendous strategic advantage. They get the lower cost, much higher reliability, and the flexibility of running on different clouds. We can carry them to different clouds as we move along. In the next 5 to 10 years, I think what we'll see is a tremendous movement to externally provided clouds. Today, no one in his right mind would build their own private telephone system. But back when they built the railways, they had to build their own telegraph and telephone system because there wasn't a commodity telephone system. Today, you'd be a lunatic to build your own telephone system. I believe in 10 years, we'll have exactly the same feeling about building our own data centers. That's quite a shock to some of my friends in the IT space. But the reality is there is nothing differentiated about owning a pile of computers and hooking them up. There are certainly security reasons that you might want to put those in buildings that are protected physically as well as electronically. But ultimately, that kind of computation becomes a commodity and is going to be provided just like electricity and phone services.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're ready now. Speaking a little closer to the future, what's on tap for Engineered in the near future?
Well, I'm not going to pre-announce anything, but we've got some amazingly exciting things coming down the pipe. We are literally on the edge of making some major announcements, which I don't want to make here. But the thing that you're going to see is we will continue to take our customers into the technologies they really need to be successful in the cloud. And we'll continue to expand ourselves across multiple clouds so that our customers have a choice. They can operate with us and we can provide them with the operational skill in the data center activities to be able to run on all the different clouds. Because as you know, they're quite different. And
absolutely, yeah.
One or the other can be really, really problematic for our customers.
All right, fantastic. Now, as a matter of tradition, with many of the various videos that I've done for Engineered, there is always a final question. I mentioned this to you beforehand that there is a right answer, possibly more than one right answer, but it really depends on whether you're going to get this or not. And if not, we might have to talk to HR. We might have to let you go, but we'll see. Who is your favorite superhero?
So, you told me that there was a right answer, and I just decided to completely ignore you on that.
Fair enough. I get that a lot.
Yeah, I have a superhero, and I have to say it's my dad.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Literally a rocket scientist. He built rocket engines for Rocketdyne, and he helped to build all the engines that were in the Apollo space program and the trips and everything else. Yeah, he was one great dad. We would go out in the backyard and just blow things up. You can't have a better dad than a guy who'll take you out there and just blow stuff up. It was really fun.
That is awesome. Just so you know, because I didn't inform you before, the right answer was Batman, but I'm going to give it to you because you named your dad, and your dad's pretty awesome. So, Beau, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for being a part of Cloud My Coffee, and hopefully we'll see you around at some conferences and stuff soon.
Thank you, PJ. Bye-bye.
Thank you.